Right, for more on team selection, we are joined by Sunil Gavaskar, who joins us live from Sydney. Sunny bhai, the 15-member team has been announced. It is exactly the same as the 15 that you had picked, barring one player. So you had gone with Mohit Sharma. You had said that that may surprise a lot of people. Mohit has not been picked. Ishant has. Firstly, your first impressions of this 15-member squad?
I think it's a very good squad. That is capable of defending the World Cup. The batting looks very, very good. And I think as far as the bowling is concerned, if they bowl well, then on Australian surfaces, then surely can defend the World Cup.
All right, Sunny bhai, now let's talk about that one omission from your 15. Mohit Sharma hasn't been picked. Ishant Sharma has been picked instead. How do you see this?
Well, the way I see it is one Sharma is as good as the other Sharma. But seriously, I think that Mohit is a better fielder. And as I keep repeating in limited overs cricket, a run saved is a run scored for your team. And that's my only worry, that some of the quicker bowlers in the team, if they don't bowl well on the day, with the bat they will contribute, and on the field they can be a liability.
Okay, Sunny bhai, now just looking at the spinning lineup, then 3 spinners as you had picked them as well in Ashwin, Jadeja and Akshar Patel. But if one were to look at this, it looks one-dimensional with 2 left-arm spinners and an off-spinner. You think there was a case for a leg spinner? We've seen leg spinners be India's lucky charm. We saw one leg spinner picked in the last World Cup as well. And there were 2 leg spinners in the 13 in Amit Sharma and Kan Sharma. You think that could have been looked at?
Well, if that was the way I thought in my team that I gave before the team selection, then I would have included a leg spinner, wouldn't I?
Right, so you don't think a leg spinner was needed. Okay, let's talk about batting now. The other name that was doing the round, and many thought it is possible you could have given him a chance because of the form he's shown in Test match cricket, is Murli Vijay. You think that, that he had a strong enough case for himself?
Well, again, the 15 that I gave was after the third test had been completed. So quite clearly, I had also taken into account Murli Vijay's form. And the team 15 that I gave was based on all considerations.
Okay, so you would still prefer Shikhar Dhawan ahead of Murli Vijay, looking at the way the 2 batsmen have performed in the Test series, and both are openers then?
Well, you've got to look at the format we're talking about. The format is a 50 overs format, and it is a format that will suit Shikhar Dhawan a lot more than perhaps the Test format, where the ball is a red ball, the slip fielders are in position. And therefore it is a little bit harder in Test cricket, a little bit easier in limited overs cricket.
Okay, I'm just looking at various social networking sites, and these are the first reactions that are coming in from various fans. Most fans seem very unhappy that Stuart Binny has been picked, and of course the obvious connection has been made to his father being a selector. But you had picked him in the 15, so you are of the opinion that he merits a place in the side irrespective of who his father is.
Nikhil, why you ask me these questions? If you thought that all these names that I gave were just because I got up that morning and I decided, okay, let us have this. Oh no, if it was another day I would have picked that. Why you ask me these questions?
The reason I ask I'll tell you why I ask you those questions.
No, please don't interrupt.
Sure.
If I had not given thought to that 15 which you asked me to pick, then it was a different matter. I have given it thought, and having given it thought, and having explained why, that is the reason why I picked those 15 people. Now, if the selection committee has, agreed with 14 of them and one was not there, you can't go and ask me why he's not there and why he's not, because I was not in the selection committee. If any questions have to be asked, you should ask of the selection committee. But the way you're asking me questions, it's almost as if you're saying to me that I did not apply my mind to picking that 15. I applied my mind. I took into account all the form, the kind of pitches that we are playing on, and after that I gave the selection. Henceforth, I will not give you any selection. I would rather not give selection. This is not the way I go about it, because I'm not a selector. But I did it because you all asked me to, But if this is the way you're going to ask me questions after I've selected why this, why not that, why this, why not that, then I really don't, I'm not interested.
See, Sunil, I'll tell you the reason now I ask you the question is not many viewers would have heard your 15 that you had picked. We get various viewers at various times. So for the benefit of the viewers, if it'd be nice if you could tell us again, why are the various merits you looked at while you picked Stuart Binny? That was my intention, Sunil.
Well, I picked him because he can, on these kind of surfaces, come in very handy with his seam bowling, be an option, seam bowling, as a lower order batsman or even as a floater. He can be pretty handy with the bat. Look at the way he's hammered those big sixes in T20 cricket and even in limited overs cricket. In the chances that he's got in limited overs cricket in Bangladesh, and you might argue what, it is only Bangladesh, he has picked up more wickets than your regular bowlers. He's got the best one-day figures for India in limited overs cricket. So I've taken all that into account, and the fact that India does not have an all-rounder of great caliber. There is Akshar Patel, and there is Ravindra Jadeja, but also I think we needed a seam bowling all-rounder, and that's the reason I thought of Stuart Binny. I know some of the guys will turn on and say, oh, you know, it's his old teammate Roger Binny's son, that's why he's picked it. I don't go by that. I do not go by that because it's such an easy thing to cast aspersions on Roger Binny, one of the nicest and finest human beings you can come across. Even when Stuart Binny was first selected in the Indian team, I think Mr. Patel, the Honorary Secretary of the Board, made it very clear that Roger was asked, when his name came up, Stuart Binny's name came up, Roger was asked to leave the room, and the rest of the selection committee then picked Stuart Binny. I think all these matters need to be made very clear before casting aspersions on one of our World Cup heroes and one of the nicest and finest human beings that you can come across.
Right, great that you've clarified that on air, because we are on air at the moment. Sunil, the other thing is you mentioned Mohit Sharma. You thought that he merited a place in the team. He hasn't been, but he's been picked for the Tri-Series. They've picked a 17-member squad for the Tri-Series. Do you think that has been done because, you know, fast bowlers are prone to injuries, and two fast bowlers in Dhaval Kulkarni, Mohit Sharma have been picked just in case if any of the four fast bowlers are injured, they could fill in?
Yes, I think, you know, in the Tri-Series, you get the advantage of sending more than 15. For a World Cup, every team is limited to a 15-member squad. You can always have a replacement once the technical committee of the tournament is happy that the injury is serious enough to warrant a replacement. But a 17-member side for a Tri-Series is perfectly understandable. There's a lot of traveling that India need to do up and down Australia. It's a big country, and the Australian grounds are quite hard. So sometimes what happens is that the bowlers can jar their knees, jar their ankles as they land, particularly the faster bowlers, and therefore be a little bit fragile. So I think picking those two extra bowlers for the Tri-Series is a good move.
All right, now to the veteran in Yuvraj Singh, whose name was being considered. Was reported that he may be in consideration. In fact, we heard Sanjay Patel, who said yes, Yuvraj's name was discussed in the meeting. He confirmed that, but of course he's failed to make the cut. How do you think someone like Yuvraj Singh would view this news? Do you think it will be tough for him then to motivate himself now to continue playing? Because at the end of the day, each cricketer who plays domestic cricket also aspires to play for the country. He's played enough, but would obviously dream of playing again. But now that the team has been selected, do you think it will be easy for him to continue playing? And do you think there is a chance that he may be ever brought back in the future into the team?
Well, I think he would have got the signal when the 30 probables were announced, and he was not in the squad. I think he would have got a signal that he wasn't really in the frame. And unfortunately, there weren't any limited overs matches because he batted well in the Ranji Trophy matches, got 3 consecutive hundreds. But this is a 50 overs game, and perhaps the selection committee felt that they needed to move on. So it's hard on a player who was the man of the World Cup, which India won in 2011. But then, form is such an important thing, and perhaps the selection committee wasn't quite satisfied with his form. He's only 32, 33 years old, and surely I think when he looks back and sees what a great experience it is to be in the Indian team, he will be motivated to try and make a comeback. Yes, I think this will be a huge blow to his morale, but also at the same time, the fact that he'll be missing out And when you're out because of injury, you want to come back into the team because you miss that atmosphere in the team, that dressing room atmosphere, the camaraderie that players share as they travel between matches on their rest days or go for training. It's a fantastic feeling that team spirit, and I'm sure UV will miss that. And I think that should spur him on to try and score double hundreds and triple hundreds and win back a place in the Indian team.
Okay, Sunny bhai, now with the various feedback that we're receiving on the website, now these are based on the players that have been selected. One question that most viewers are asking is with regards to Robin Uthappa, considering that he's shown some good form with the bat and also that he could fill in as the second wicket keeper. However, you also didn't have him in the 15. Who do you think is then best suited to be the backup wicket keeper for Dhoni in case he's needed during the World Cup?
I think Ambati Rayudu did their job for Mumbai Indians. And that's why the selection committee would have looked at that. And the question would be that if there is an injury to Mahendra Singh Dhoni on the morning of the match, if there is something which is more serious, a replacement can be called, as I said.